both, and I want you to give me a solution to that scenario. Here's a scenario. Ready? Okay. You have a seller that's selling their home. They may be 30 days late on their mortgage, right? Okay. But they want to sell it because they might be, for whatever financial reasons, it's too high, right? But they've been consistent paying, right? Okay. Now, you have a buyer. Well, let's say they have to sell it. They want to sell it, and you want to get the listing from them. What's going to be your strategy with them? So let's.
I think because that's such a sensitive time that if they're missing their payments, that you have to be a little bit, you tone your voice a little bit more sensitive, but then be persistent.
But what's your strategy? What would you offer me? Let's say you sold me and I'm ready to sign on.
Oh,
Okay, so what's your strategy? Listen, here's my deal, Celeste. I'm willing to hire you as my agent. But, I've been here for 20 years. I love my house. I have to sell it because I can't afford to pay that much more. Interest rates are high. Can you sell it for me? What's your strategy?
So then you go through 1, hire a professional photographer, 2, hire a professional videographer, and then give that stitch.
Okay. Right. What do you think, Ms. Jody? What would you do?
I'm going to be the one that says to you it's the opportunity cost of business for me.
Okay.
Because I'm going to say to them, look, unfortunately, we've already missed one payment, so time is of the essence. We need every agent that will look at MLS and all the other social medias that I put it on to know that this house is available for sale and that we need to sell it.
Okay.
And I'm afraid you can't do that by yourself because you're not a real estate agent.
Now, I've been thinking about this for 2 days as I was running.
Okay.
And I'm a master at this. This is what I used to do before. Have you heard of a sale leaseback? Okay, the sale leaseback, as we know, Ms. Jody, is let's say I'm selling this building, but I want to stay here. So I sell it to the owner, and I stay occupied, become a tenant. So in a scenario like that, when I become an agent, you tell me that story, that's what I'm going to do. I say, if I could put you in a position where you could stay in your house after 20 years, is that something you'd be interested in? Now you got to say, because they got to pack, they got to relocate. That's a pain in the ass after 20 years, right? So now this property comes from not only from a personal seller, but it's an investment property. How do you see it as an investment property? How is it an investment?
Because you already got a built-in tenant. They've been making payments, so they.
There you go. But who's the landlord? The bank. So now you go to an investor and say, listen, I got a property. The perfect scenario for you is producing cash flow. Really? Yeah. They've been paying for 20 years. They're a little bit hurting right now, but they would love to stay because the interest rates are too high for them. So now you can sell it both ways. You could sell an investor and say, listen, I have an investment property for you. Well, what's the cash flow? Well, this amount a month to month. Why people don't think about that? You truly solve their problem because they don't want to move. They would rather stay. The investor is secure about that because they've been there for 20 years.
They don't want to own an tenant.
Huh?
They don't want to own an tenant.
Of course. Do you see how you solve that problem? Why people don't do that? Because they don't know how to sell.
That's how I acquire a lot.
Isn't that a story? Based on what? Facts. Right. Because when you own a house, you really don't own shit. You own debt. Unless you're getting cash flow.
And repairs.
So me, I owned 2 houses before, right? And I pay all cash for them. Whenever I wanted a house, I get a compensation, I would sell it. But I understood that a mortgage is not an investment for me unless it's a tenant paying for it, right? But living, I'd rather rent the house. That should be, not just fall through. So is that a good strategy to use? How much more valuable do you think you become with the seller? They never hear that because only commercial people do that.
That's right.
Right? Or when you buy out a company, you keep me as a CEO for 2 years, right? So you get your seal. So it's the same kind. It was killing me. You know how I thought about that? I have a video I did. I was running and I saw a house for rent. And this is what I said on the video. I said, Celeste, this is for you. I'm gonna turn a rental property into part of a seller's agreement. Because if they're renting, they're willing to sell. You see, that's selling, that's understanding value, thinking outside the box that they may not be thinking about. I think if we do that, we'll become different than any other agency because nobody's doing it. So instead of looking for an actual, because in this market,
I do it, but I'm the buyer.
right? So now you got it, right? So now you got to do it the other way, right? So what's happening is because of the current market conditions, interest rate, it's going to be hard for people to get a loan. But investors are liquid and they're looking for what? What are investors looking for? Two things. What are they looking for? Income. And what else? Equity, yes. So if this person's been paying for 20 years, there's some equity in that property. Isn't that the best scenario? Most investors don't even hear that from agents. Just something to think about. Just something to think about. Got you thinking, Ms. Jody, don't it?
I do think about it, but I look at it first for me.
I know. So now we got to see it the other way.
That's what I was like. The other thing, though, that I have to say is, if you're an agent that works with investors, you might think about it quicker than you would have never done it.
Yes. Well, yeah.
And new agents don't think.
But that's what I'm saying. That's the whole point. And I was thinking about, like, you know, we leave so much opportunities there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Now, here's what happens. How am I able to do that? Because I'm always thinking, what is the problems or the cause that this seller's. Listen, if I could show you a way to get the right agent where you could stay in your house, still get some money on the closing, right?
Right.
And you don't have to inconvenience yourself. If I could do that, is that a good thing for you? Oh yeah, I never heard of that. But how would you like to be a renter? You got $40,000 in your bank that you wasn't going to get before. You don't have to move and inconvenience yourself. You don't have to take your family anywhere. You could just stay right now. How would you like that? That's selling. That's what a salesperson does.
Solving sales problems.
Does that make sense? What you have time?
Do you have time?
1:30.
Yeah.
You gotta leave, right?
Gotta go.
Okay. Does that make sense?
Thank you.
All right.
So why don't you